everybody. Welcome. Today we are welcome to our ASTE Community Connect. If you couldn't tell, it's a little green because St. Patty's is coming up. Also, spring is on its way. We hope you get lucky today. Anthony, how's it going?
It's going really good. You tease that it's going to be spring soon. Come on, we're in Alaska. Like we still
Well,
got 2 more months till
well,
spring starts.
actually, it was like there's like hardly any snow here in Anchorage. It has snowed a little bit for the last couple of days, but there's still less snow than I've ever seen since we've been here. And we just hit 6 years here in Alaska.
Nice.
So yeah. Anything are you guys do anything to celebrate St. Patrick's Day?
We got corned beef and cabbage. Looking forward to that. And other than that, not really. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a lick of Irish in my ancestry, so I'm not obligated to celebrate St. Patty's Day. Oh, but my wife is, yeah. So we'll celebrate for her and her heritage.
All right, Aaron. Wonderful. Well, we are the McAllisters in my household, so we definitely celebrate. And also, whether you are, a McAllister or not, someone's going to get lucky today. Okay. And also, I just think that we should do a little coffee drinking game. Every time I say the word lucky, if you have your coffee with you, you should take a drink. And feel free to say lucky if you're interacting with us. Yes, let's get this. I just love it. It just makes me smile. Maybe it's my middle school humor. I don't know. But how are you going to get lucky, you ask? Well, I have this amazing book by one of my dearest friends, Carly Spina. It's called Moving Beyond for Multilingual Learners. This book is from EduMatch, and somebody is going to win this today. And all you have to do is interact with us. And the more interaction we get, the more chances you get to win. So we'll do that at the very end of today. And we hope you get lucky today or anytime this weekend because, we want you to have all the luck. So, yeah.
Oh
But
boy, I don't know if I have enough coffee.
yeah, I'll probably drink all my coffee. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do is bring up. I don't know. Did we talk about Alexis being president elect in our last live stream?
I believe we did.
All right. Well,
But
let's
we can
celebrate this.
mention it again.
Let's mention it again. Let's celebrate it.
Mhm.
Alexis Griffey is our president-elect. And you're going to see me and Alexis, me and Anthony, or all of us together on these live streams. We're so excited. Alexis, just again, tell us a little bit about what you do in education, what you're excited for about ASTE.
Well, hi, I'm Alexis Griffey, and I'm really excited to be the president-elect, and I'm very thankful to have you on board and Anthony that I can learn all of the skills from. So really looking forward to that. Currently, I work with the Anchorage School District. I'm the teacher expert supporting the Indigenous Education Department. So wear a lot of different hats, and I'm able to work with a lot of different schools and age levels and different teachers from around the district. So it's a great job.
Why did you decide to join the board?
So I was talked into presenting at my first ASTE, and I was super, super nervous, of course, because it was like my first time, have all the imposter syndrome of like, I've got all these great people here and I'm presenting. And then there's this one person sitting in the front row, Melody.
Oh, God.
And
You were so lucky.
Was just like, this is great. You did such a great job. And it was just such a huge boost, and it just really gave me confidence to take my career to the next level. And I was just like,
wow,
really step out and start interacting with people more with ASTE. And I got to see how closely knit everybody is and how supportive the whole community is. And I was like, that is something that I want to be a part of. And so I've been presenting every year ever since. And then Anthony asked me to help out last year and just moved on in.
Dang.
We're so lucky to have you on board.
Oh, sorry. I don't have coffee. I'm ill prepared this morning.
Wait, so Alexis, are you saying that just presenting at ASTE, it was enough to get you to go elevate your career? Is that what you said?
It truly was, because I came into education as like a second career. I started off in extension education. And so for those that don't know, that's like 4-H and working with extension offices. And so I kind of felt like like you're behind because you didn't start off your pathway as a traditional public school teacher. And we just moved from another state. So I was new to teaching in Alaska, and just having that welcoming feeling and just really being accepted and seeing people that were excited for new ideas and input and collaboration. It was really empowering for me as an individual and as a professional. So I just definitely want to keep that momentum and vibe going for ASTE because it definitely changed my direction.
I love that. We are so lucky to have you here and as a part of our board and just as an educator in Alaska. Like, that's really a cool story. And ASTE really changed the trajectory of your career and your life.
It did.
And
Yep.
I'm just saying, like, I think you're amazing in your role. I've got to see you in your role, and I'm just so lucky to be your friend. And
I'll do my imaginary coffee because I'm still on spring break mode right now, so I didn't bring my caffeine yet. So
I don't know how to live without caffeine. Well, that is so cool, Anthony. I'm such a bossy. Like, do you have anything you want to say that I am like making it hard because I won't shut up?
No, you're really good at this part. I just like to sit and listen. I'm just really lucky to be with both of you and the rest of the board. Couldn't consider myself I consider myself the luckiest person in the world to be
Oh
working with.
wow, what? Oh my God, that is. I would cry, but I'm not even close to tears. But anyway, that's so great. That's great. I actually love my job too, and I consider myself very lucky. Okay, the next part is my favorite part. Thank you, Alexis, for sharing such an amazing story with us. That is so cool. And we have a couple of amazing educators in our midst. So I'm going to go first, if that's okay. Christy Contronio. God, I probably said I butchered her last name.
I think
Controneo. She's so sweet. I don't think there's been a Christy C. Congratulations on being the ASTE Teacher of the Year. And one of the local from her, where she is, one of the local radio stations wanted to do a whole bit on her. And I just think that is so cool. Her community loves her. She is an amazing educator. And the person who nominated her, one of her colleagues, Heather Baker, who's also in our ASTE community, just won. She is one of several Alaskan educators who won the Presidential Award for Math and Science teachers. So, and I am going to drop that link. We congratulate everybody who has been mentioned. And I think ASD just put out drop that in the comments. But yeah, congratulations to all those educators. You guys, we are so lucky to have you in our state teaching and in our community. All right. Do y'all have any educator shout outs?
I'll go real quick if that's all right. Mine's kind of general. I mean, we're just listening to this and seeing how fortunate we are. We have some seriously powerful educators in our state. And I mean, I've been to conferences in several different states, and sometimes they don't come close to what we can learn from the teachers here. We have some really innovative people, and I'm very fortunate to be able to teach here.
How long have you been here now?
4 years now. So
awesome. That's great. Agreed. What is your favorite conference that you've ever been to?
Well, ASTE, of course,
okay.
But
that was a trick question.
It was a trick question. Like, how else can you answer that, right? ISTE was a good conference, but it honestly made me appreciate ASTE even more. And I really enjoyed going to the NIEA conference down in California. That was a really had a lot of really great speakers and perspectives. So that was one that really kind of had depth and made you think. So
yeah. What was it? NIE? What does that stand for? Do you know?
Yeah, NIEA. Let me see where their next conference. I think their next conference is actually in Washington this year.
Oh, okay.
It's the National Indian Education Association.
Awesome.
And yeah, I believe it's in Spokane. But they yeah, it's a really great conference. They have people from all over the United States that come and present from all kinds of challenges and solutions, and it's just a very collaborative group. So it was a great conference to go to.
Yeah, sounds like it. Anthony, do you have any educator shout outs?
I wanted to shout out to a post I had seen. I was trying to find a link to it. We'll try and dig through it and find it, but it was a group of educators in Alaska who had won recognition and awards for their work in math and science, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think I shared that link. You shared it with me. The PAEMST award winners.
That is one award winner. So that
Okay.
award winner is in the Anchorage area, Lori Templeton at Chugiak High School. But I know there's a post somewhere that shared that had a
All of
collection of like 9 different educators in the state. And I was trying to find that post, but we'll share it later. But congratulations to all of you who were nominated or awarded. And in fact, when I was trying to search for it, I found another gentleman by the name of Neil Mooney. He used to work here in Kodiak, actually. I was an educator at the middle school and just saw that back in January he was nominated for an award. So
Ooh, cool.
that was a PAEMST award, which is really cool and exciting and well deserved because he's a very dedicated professional. So and shout out to all the educators who are currently on spring break and or have spring break coming up. And I hope it's a week of revitalization and relaxation. So.
I hope they get lucky a lot. I also want to say that there is an amazing teacher. We can give shout outs to educators who are winning awards and everything. And there are some amazing educators that'll never win an award. That is why one of the reasons that I love our ASTE awards, because you can nominate yourself, and it's okay, I think, to nominate yourself. But I also, this last week, a teacher named Sarah in Utah, she got a lot. She's like kind of infamous. I want to give a shout out to her. She kind of came under scrutiny in her school district because she had all our welcome posters in her classroom and by her hallway, and the school asked her to take it down. And she kind of came under fire, and she did take it down at first. And then she thought, after talking with her husband, like, no, this is not okay. All are welcome. And it turns out the more you dig into this story, it was because the poster had different color skins of hands. I mean, like, y'all, we're living in a crazy, crazy world right now. So I just want to say to Sarah in Utah and teachers like her all over the place who care about every single one of their students and who are going to stand up for every single one of your students. Thank you for being part of our educating system, because that is awesome. Oh, it's Idaho. I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me. It was Idaho, not Utah, but what's the difference? Anyway, just joking. That's terrible and ignorant. Okay. All right. We have.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
Please remember to take care of yourselves. I know there's all kinds of worry with funding and everything, and teaching is a stressful profession to begin with before we take on all of these other burdens, and then compassion fatigue for our students as they're going through stressors. So please, if it's your spring break coming up, or I know we all have those huge lists of things we want to do, but take time for yourself, take care of yourself, because that you've got to, and that's what our students need you to be there. Our schools need you to be there. We need powerful voices, and you can't do that if you've not taken care of yourself. So take that time.
Did you do anything to take care of yourself this week?
I did, and I think I was responsible for the snowfall. I got really excited about the warm weather, and so I got a big jump start on planting my seeds and working with my plants and all kinds of stuff. And so I think I'm going to have a lot of plants indoors for a while. But yeah, so it brings me joy though, and I'll care for them a little bit longer, and that's fine.
I love that. I love that. We have a guest today. And I can't wait. If you feel like I'm rushing a little bit, number one, I just rush because like that's how I am. But also, he's coming up. I think he was on our last live stream, but I can't wait. But before we bring up our special guest, we have some ASTE news. Mr. Anthony, do you want to share a little bit about what's coming up in our community?
Yeah, so we're in planning some summer learning series, either one-off or potentially over the course of a couple sessions for learning. So we know that during summer, you might be ready to be done and just kind of take a break for a bit. But we know that all teachers don't really do that, and they're always thinking about what's coming up. And so we have some summer learning series that'll be in the works. So keep an eye out on our Facebook community and our website and other avenues to find out what and when. And also want to put it out there for our members. If you presented at ASTE 25 and you have a desire to present again, just as part of that summer learning series, we'd love to have you join us, and we will be sending out more information on that soon.
Yes, I am so excited about the summer learning series. It's going to be between June and August. We're going to try to get everything worked out so that you can get credit. It's going to be our first year doing this, and it's going to be, if you're already a member of ASTE, it is free for you. But if you didn't come to ASTE, don't worry, you can still participate. You just have to become a member of ASTE, and we'll be putting all that information out there. But it's going to be an amazing summer learning series, and we're going to feature those who presented that want to present for everybody else. And we're just excited about it. So yes, stay tuned. Okay, is there anything else that we need to talk about, ASTE News? If you haven't joined our Facebook community, I just dropped the link. Please, please, please. There's lots of stuff that happens all the time. And we brag on each other. We share what's going on. So, join our Facebook community. All right. Is it okay if I bring up our special guest? All right. Yay. And Graeme, go ahead, Anthony.
Hi, Graeme.
Hello.
All right.
It's like, it's as if we just talked yesterday, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, man, I love a good conversation, Anthony. I really appreciate you setting time aside to talk with me. I felt I got a lot out of that, and I'm excited for more.
We were nerding out on place-based augmented reality experiences and the right potential of that in the state of Alaska. So.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, this is a really cool story. So, and Graeme, you were on our last live stream, and I don't know that I talked about the story, but I can't remember. Did I talk about the story of how we all got together?
I don't think so.
So, Graeme, you're part of the Anchorage networking thing. Like, I was looking for, before ASTE, I reached out to this Jody, and I can't remember her last name, but she's like a networker for Anchorage, hospitality. And I said, hey, like, I'm looking for some sponsors to who wouldn't mind giving our attendees some cool prizes, because we were going to have this really cool game, the vendor speed dating game. And she gave me a few people that she thought would be good matches, which is so crazy. And I am incredibly lucky because she put Graeme and Alaska Escape Rooms on that list. And so I reached out to these people, and Graeme was like probably the only person I think that emailed me back, but he was so excited to be a part of an educational conference and literally kind of stole the show. Graeme, tell us a little bit about, just because you were so, like, you became a VIP is all I'm trying to say.
Oh,
yeah. Tell us, and ever since, like you just said, you guys were nerding out. Like, we've been talking about how can we get Alaska Escape Rooms and just how can we get that into student learning? How can we get Graeme into the local school districts and possibly across the state? Because he just has such a powerful message. So Graeme, tell us a little bit about Alaska Escape Rooms, and tell us a little about how you hope to kind of integrate your business and your knowledge base into our school system.
100%. Starting with this email that you sent, hey, we're looking for a couple tickets to donate. And I remember thinking, wow, I could do better than that. And the reason is I'm a big believer in the best way to grow yourself is really to put yourself in different situations. And when you're helping others, you often help yourself. And that's something I first learned as a dad, single dad of 2 kids. When I started by modeling the relationship I have with you is the one you'll be looking for in the world. And so, like, this is the standard of how you should be, treated. This is how we should, at least understanding enough about psychology to realize this is the basis. And so I put everything into my kids. But the reality was, and it didn't happen till way late in life, that I realized that they were training me, that
Wow.
I was becoming a better person. And I thought this was this one-sided thing. And this is something maybe teachers intuitively already know. As givers, and who are constantly putting their passions and their effort and their life blood into their children. They are working so hard to build, and they see that mirrored effect probably every day. But for me, it was a newer concept. And then later on, it turned out, as I'm watching different industries and companies interact, I'm starting to help small businesses. I realized that every time I sat down and talked to them about their problems and tried to help, I was getting something back out of it. I was looking at a problem that I also had. I just didn't realize it was mine as well, from a different angle, because it was just different enough that it helped me to solve my own problems as well. And so I started seeking out these opportunities. And I have to say, when you messaged me, I'm like, there is an industry that not only it's doing such great work in our community. I mean, who could, it'd be very hard to find a sphere of people who are more influential into the guidance of our state and the development of it than the educators of it. And so not only does it do that, check that box of doing a lot of good, but it's also something that I want to know more about. And when I think about it, oftentimes industries and groups of people really need to connect and plug in with each other. You're on one side where you're preparing students for the world and careers and professional. I'm on the other side looking at what is necessary to succeed for and monetize these skill sets and talents. And then we're both riding this roller coaster of technology, thinking what's going to happen next and how do we prepare for it and how do we take advantage of it. And so when I mean, it just was so many boxes checked. I'm like, I can't wait to learn. And then I looked up your website and I saw all these amazing classes. I'm like, well, how do I run a booth and get to sit in on these classes? Can I sneak away? Am I allowed? And so the idea of this summer being able to have another shot at those, I'm hoping I get a chance to sit down and listen to some of these things, because I couldn't believe not only were the classes so beneficial, but the energy of all these people with the shared passion recharging. Just like Alexis was saying, you got to take care of yourself. Well, there's a lot of dimensions to self-care, and one of them is learning, putting yourself a little outside your comfort zone in order to grow and learn, but also in sharing passions and just kind of refilling up that tank. So for all those reasons, I was really excited to engage with you.
I love
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
I think-
well, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I feel very lucky to have met everyone. That's 10 sips of Monster, so we'll see how that goes. Sorry if I talk too much now, but it was your game. I feel that there's a lot of potential. And I think Alaskans are uniquely set, and I kind of mentioned this before, but we are adaptive, we are innovative, we're constantly looking for new tools because we're forced to. It's not an optional thing. We're not just guessing at what we're going to need later. We need to start building out this technology-based infrastructure in order to be able to service our communities, because we have singular challenges that other states just don't have. And I've always said that this is a great way of leveling that opportunities for our community statewide. And what's neat about it is as we're forced into that function to grow and adapt, we're also building the model that can be used to help the world. You know, what's different about what's happening here in Alaska versus what could be happening in another country that has similar issues and maybe not the same types of resources and has the same types of challenges. We could be setting the pace for everyone.
Right.
And I think that puts us in a very unique position to actually affect the world around us and make it better. And that's important. We should all be doing this. And I will say too, I mean, one thing that's neat about our position, different than ASTE, is what I'm hearing, there's a lot of red tape when you're working through mass organizations. You know, the school, everything kind of turns slow. They have to be careful with the decisions that they make. There's a lot of stuff, but I don't have that red tape. I do what I want when I want to do it. And so, you know, if you have an idea, if you want to work on a project and you don't have the school's permission, I'd say the same thing I say to students when I'm teaching them. You don't need someone's permission to go learn. Go to a
Mm-mm.
bookstore, you know, go, if
Mm-mm.
you're excited about something, own your education, own your opportunities, and go pursue them. And that's the same with teachers. You know, if you have an idea of how you think you can change the world and make it better, if you want a
Mhm.
partner, work with me. You know, I don't have red tape. I do what I want.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Mhm. I love that. I love that mentality. That is how I ran my classroom. It wasn't asked for permission. Can I do these things? I'm like, or students would say, I want to build a game in Roblox. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's do it. Let's do it.
yeah,
It's all yours, you know? Like here are your ground rules. You can't be playing Roblox because I already fell in that
got me
pit
once.
of despair, yeah, once. But then, you know, we had it blocked across the board in our lab because, you know, self-control is something kids are developing at that age. And but the students who are like, yeah, I really want to learn how to make my own Roblox games. And I was like, go for it. And you should see the results, like incredible. And they own that learning. It was their learning. It's what they wanted to do. And I really hope we can get more of that happening in the state. Um, I do have to step away for a sec, in a second, but I did want to mention one thing. I think you couldn't ask for a better uh, collaboration between escape rooms and education. And we had talked yesterday about the different subject areas that
Mhm.
building an escape room touch upon. And I know that a lot of teachers probably are aware of or have built their own escape rooms. Breakout EDU being a great example of a company that took on this idea of breaking out of something, and but they like developed all the curriculum for it and they have the instructions, whereas now we're like toying around with the idea of flipping it around and having the students making the breakout rooms, or sorry,
Oh
the
yeah.
escape rooms, right? And we had talked about so many different aspects that go into creating an escape room experience, reading and writing, you know, that includes story building and world building. And then we have the art, you know, design, layout, interior design, like all kinds of things. We talked about technology and science and how, you know, you're connecting wires and certain things to create an action. We talked about uh, game development theory and like what makes a good game, and why would you create the difficulty for certain items to be easy versus really hard, and what is that sweet spot in between, and then the feedback loop that goes through that of like, okay, go through it, what's your feedback, okay, let's iterate and change on it. And then last, and I think the greatest thing is that idea of collaboration and working with
Yeah.
others towards a common goal of completing something, and then having others experience it, and the sheer joy and happiness you have when people experience it and go, oh my gosh, that was such a cool experience. And you're like, yeah, feeling good about that. So holy moly, like look at all this potential just with one thing. So I am just so incredibly excited that we connected with you, and can't wait to connect more. And I would say this, and make mention of it, how people can get a hold of you in order
Mhm.
to kind of brainstorm on this. And on that note, I gotta go, folks. I love you all.
Bye, Anthony. We love you too. Have a great week and get lucky for all of us. Okay.
Am I the only one still playing? This sounds like a Friday night,
I
not
know. I
a
listen. We're playing with
Saturday
confidence.
morning.
I'm playing too. You know, Graham, and I want everybody to check out Alaska Escape Rooms. Actually, and we're my whole family's going this afternoon. We have an appointment at Alaska Escape Rooms. We're so excited. My kids, my younger kids, when I told them last night about it, they were like, their eyes got big because they're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen if we don't win? And I was like, it's okay. It's just play. Nothing bad is going to happen. We may win or we may not. Like, they're like, oh my God, you know, what they've seen on TV. So we're super excited. But something I want to say too, in response to what you had talked about, that I love. Number one, I've always been a believer that with the changing dynamic of our world, and especially how fast it's changing right now, and in a lot of ways not how we want it to, but it's just changing whether we want it to or not. It's the only way that we can make it as a society, because so much is put on schools and public education and teachers, is if local businesses step in and change too. So something that I love about what you talked about is just that you're doing that with your business. You're stepping in because you realize that and of course you have children, but you realize that it's not just about like, oh, these people over here are teaching our kids, it's their job. No, we are a community. I use that word community all the time because it is my, like, I just feel like it's part of my destiny to build community. And I only think that we are as good as our community works together, especially to help us in our changing environment. And another thing that really spoke to me when you were talking is just that besides learning happens everywhere, yes, but educators every day who truly care, the educators in our ASTE community especially are those people, we call them early adopters. And Julia, I just want to say hi to you and thank you so much for listening in. Is that while the system, our education system needs a radical change to be brought up to speed with where we are, we're still trying to teach kids the same old way in a lot of way, in the same old system. And those of us like in ASTE especially, and in other communities like us, we are the change makers in our roles. So like, Alexis and her role, she's making changes, within the system that feels sometimes like a prison, right? And there's proof that there is that connection. And I know as a classroom teacher, and right now I'm subbing, I'm not like, I don't have one class, but I also, and when I am in the classroom, I'm trying to make those changes in every role that I have. And we don't wait for permission. We're trying to open the world to our kids. We're trying to, something that I did, especially last year when I was teaching middle school, just, my friends who are authors, having them, talk with my class, bringing in parents that have amazing careers, we are doing things every day to open the doors for our students and show them that they have a future, and it's their future, and they don't need to wait for permission for us to learn about their future, right? Julia says, love the tie into all subjects, learning aspects. Yes. And so, and on that note, Julia, thank you for saying that. Graeme, as our community, as our ASTE community, I am looking forward to seeing all the ways that we get to work and collaborate together for the rest of 2025 and for 2026. So we're so lucky, again, seriously lucky to have you on board. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Julia, we're lucky that you watch all the time, Julia.
I want to add real quick to what Julia said as well. This is a great way to also tie in. You have the Alaska State cultural standards that focus a lot on the collaboration and the SEL pieces. And so it goes even deeper than just the, reading, writing. And so this out of the box thinking is the skills that our students are going to need and that we as teachers need to model. Back when I was in school, and I'm not going to date myself, but there was no such thing as a social media influencer, right?
Right.
And now it can be a very lucrative career. So we need to be teaching our students not only these skills, but how to think outside of that box, because we're preparing them for jobs that we can't even fathom at this point. And, I know that we have teachers and administrators and ASTE and people of all different positions. So I want to challenge even the admin to think about this. How could you level up your professional development if you went from a sit and get to an escape room where your teachers are talking and collaborating and working through these problems and really exemplifying and utilizing the skills that you're trying to teach? And so it's not something that just happens in the classroom, but it should be at all levels of education. And so I think that this is a great opportunity and a great example to show how our community can come together and how we can relate things that, you might not necessarily think an escape room and, but it works. And these are the combinations we need to start making in the connections. So thank you, Graeme.
I think it's really neat because the more you study and the more you go across different industries and you look at all the different pieces in play, it's eye-opening how they're all, no matter which path you follow, they're all kind of coming from the same area. If you want to look at like take any subject, the history of people. You can look at it through art. You can look at it through writing. You can look at it through science. You can look at it through math. You know, this culture is invented here. You can go through it any angle and follow just that path. And you're all kind of, it's just one piece of the puzzle. And when we look at preparing children of our community for this, we have to look at all the different pieces, as many perspectives as you can give to not just increase engagement, but to show them there's a lot of ways to learn and develop both ourselves, as you're saying, you know, from a faculty standpoint, as well as our students. And connecting those things are going to help us to have a more adaptive output later on. Understanding how things are connecting to each other and the value of seeing that is so important. We do a lot of like faculty support. I've had several schools, their entire faculty came down to do the escape room from a team building standpoint. And it's neat when you see them in the room and everyone has something different to offer. They all think a little different. They have different skills. They have different backgrounds, and they need to apply all that. I put a lot of work into just thinking how to fold in all these different perspectives as much as possible. So
Yeah. I love that. And you know, Alexis, you said something about like having the Alaska escape rooms as part of, you know, a professional development. And how many middle school and high school teachers that are in large schools don't even know each other because they're not like in the same subject area or whatever. They're not on the same grade level, or, you know, it's just, there's just so many ways that the Alaska escape room model can just, you know, bring people together and make it closer knit. Aren't we so lucky to have this conversation with Graeme today? It's just, and everybody, and Julia, thank you guys. And it's been so cool. So we've talked some serious stuff, okay? And the conversation is just beginning. It's not over. It's just beginning. And whether you're watching this right now live with us or you watch it after it's over, like, we want to hear your ideas. So comment whether you're watching on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. Let us know what you're thinking, all right? And definitely check out the Alaska escape rooms. But now, before we say goodbye, we're going to play Would You Rather, the St. Patty's version, okay? And I'm going to drop the link. You know, if you Google Would You Rather, I'm just going to, you know, this might be something that you want to do with your friends as part of your self-care that Alexis was talking about. But if you want to play this game with us, oh my gosh, and if you're watching and you want to play this Would You Rather, just put it in the comments, okay? But I also put the link in the comments just so that you can do this. This is not this is not R-rated or anything. So you can do this with your kids. You can change up stuff. If you Google Would You Rather St. Patty's, there's also some YouTubes that are just geared for students. So if this is something you want to do on Monday, if you're still in school and you don't have spring break, check that out. I just want to give that to you. Okay. Are you two ready? Do you know how to play Would You Rather?
Of course.
Okay.
Games are my thing.
And you know, here's the thing. And I want to give a special shout out to my friend, Dr. Rochelle Danae Poth, because we used to do Would You Rather like all the time on our live stream, and we haven't done that together for quite a while. She's the one that really got me into this. But like, Would You Rather is such a easy game to get into because obviously there's not a lot of rules, but also it's fun to get you thinking. And like, I don't know about you guys, but one question makes me start thinking about another, and curiosity is definitely one of those things that you know, we love about the classroom experience. Okay, guys, number one, would you rather have green dull skin or gold shimmery skin?
Gold shimmery. Oh, sorry, we're not supposed to answer?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell everybody I was an alien here to save them.
I love it. I'm all about the aliens.
I'd go with gold because then you can just be like, it's natural highlighter. I don't know. Save money on some stuff.
Bronzer.
People pay money for that, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you can tell. I have like green lipstick on and green eyeshadow on. It is really not my color. I'm just doing it because it's fun. But honestly, I say gold as well. Gold. And then, you know, if you're having a bad hair day, like the gold will blind people from seeing your, you know, it's just great all around. Okay. Would you rather have a green tongue or gold teeth?
Gold teeth. I mean, I feel like I'm not that cool, but I could try.
I'd rather have a green tongue for
yeah,
sure.
I think you could hide the tongue better, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. It's
One
okay
time
if
I ate a bunch of blue M&Ms and I made my tongue blue and I thought I was having a stroke because I woke up that way because I was out hitting the town really hard. And for some reason, I only ate blue M&Ms and I woke up like, oh my God, my tongue's blue. I think I have to go to the hospital. It was blue M&Ms. That's terrible.
All right. Would you rather only Irish jig to every song you hear or listen to only Irish folk music?
Forever?
Yeah.
I'm not a good dancer anyway, so I'll just go with the like have to dance the jig because maybe I'll be able to do that well. I don't know.
I would choose the jig too.
Yeah, probably the jig would be an improvement. Unfortunately, I've got a sprinkler that I just holster most of the time, and that's it. But Irish music is actually really great for my ADD. It's so chaotic, but it's just in a pattern that I actually like to work to it.
Oh, that's very interesting. Awesome.
Or theme my game nights to it.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Would you rather find a 4-leaf clover in a field or a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow?
Would I rather have a rather common plant or a pot of gold? I'll take the gold, a big pot. How about this? Would you rather be pinched by the world's strongest human or have to teach a semester of classes? Oh no, how about this? Go to your next class in a green swimsuit.
Okay, I'd rather be pinched.
Pinched. No one wants to see the swimsuit.
The
Meaning,
world's
ugh.
strongest human? Okay.
I mean, if it takes a little skin off, I've had 3 natural childbirths. Like, believe me, I think I can handle a pinch. Which also, I need to get a tattoo. Okay, would you? This is. I'm making this up on the spot, and you all can too. I like how Graeme, how you jumped in. Would you rather get a tattoo of a pot of gold, or would you rather get a pinch by a crab?
I'll still take gold. It's going real well right now.
That is just so stupid.
Okay.
I'm always down for another tattoo, so I mean, I can work it in somewhere.
Yeah, I want to get a tattoo. Okay, I don't have one
How
yet.
about this? Would you rather talk in an Irish accent, your worst version of it probably, for a month, or not eat potatoes at all for a year?
Oh gosh, you can't eat potatoes for a year?
Well, in honor of, the
I could.
potato famine.
There's no way. But can you give us your best, worst Irish accent, Graeme?
That was the one thing I never could do. I don't do accents so bad. I mean, I could try.
Wait, 'cause it is
Okay, go ahead, try.
That was my try.
That was your
I
try?
could try.
Oh, okay, that was
Yeah,
terrible.
it'd be bad.
Yeah,
It'd be bad, but I like my potatoes, so.
yeah, yeah. Okay, would you rather get a face tattoo? That was the question. Oh my God, I have a 4-leaf clover. Oh no, this is the next question, and it has to do with tattoos. Would you rather get a face tattoo of a 4-leaf clover or a neck tattoo of a rainbow? I'm going with neck. I actually think that's kind of cool. A neck tattoo of a rainbow or a face tattoo of a 4-leaf clover?
I think it depends on how big they are for me.
and our
'Cause I'm
ears
like- Yeah. Like I think I see a lot of like little clovers and stuff behind ears and stuff.
So I mean, I could do both. I already have one rainbow, but yeah, I could definitely.
Yeah.
Double
That's
rainbow.
nothing. Yeah, that's
They're
nothing
rare.
for you.
Yeah, exactly. Rainbow.
Okay. Would you rather sound like a leprechaun or only whisper?
I would whisper, but I do it really dramatically all the time.
Okay, I like that. Okay. What about you, Alexis?
I'd probably have to whisper. Then my husband has hearing loss, so he would probably love that because then he'd hear me even less. But I'd probably go with whisper. Yeah.
Wow, I'll probably whisper because I would love to be able to I just can't sound like a leprechaun. Okay, last question, then we're going to say goodbye, and I just want to thank everybody who tuned in. Would you rather go to a St. Patrick's Day parade or the Mardi Gras parade, or just a Mardi Gras parade? Which would you rather?
Well, I like both the food and the I'd go to Mardi Gras. Yeah.
Yeah. I would choose Mardi Gras because I haven't been to, like, I left the last time I was in Louisiana, I left right before like Mardi Gras began. So I would have loved to have stayed longer and experienced that. Alexis, what were you thinking?
I'm originally from the South, so I got to go with Mardi Gras too. I mean, not been able to find a good king cake up here yet. So, you know, gotta love the celebration of food.
Yeah. Awesome.
And
All right, go ahead.
just before we go, public PSA, with volcanic activity looking more likely than not, I strongly encourage people to consider looking up your car. Go get some extra air filters for your house and your cars before there's a run on them, because that's the sort of thing that people will buy out, and we'll need more than we normally need. So I would
Man,
consider going to the parts stores and getting yourself a couple extra air filters for your car and your homes.
Also,
I'm so glad you said that.
painter's tape for windows as well.
Mhm.
Though peels off easy and it will help seal things up.
Yep.
And I mean, always in teacher mindset, talk to your kids about it. They might be hearing some things and they might be seeing, you know, Pompeii in their head. You know, you never know
That's
exactly
smart. Yeah.
where the students' minds are going. And so just have the conversation with them about what to do and turn it into a science lesson. Bring ash in, you know, whatever you have to do, not like buckets. Don't get in trouble with your principal. Sorry, admins. But just enough, make it applicable and real, and
Mhm.
that fear level out. Tell them how they
Shine
can
a
be
light on the monster.
little things they can do. Yeah. And it's a great thing. Just be prepared for that and supporting them some more.
But I'd also say further on that is, with volcanic activity, you often have plate movement and things like that, and there's never a bad time to review your earthquake plan, both in school and in families. I mean, like, our family plan is to call out of state, because oftentimes in-state connections can be hard. Showing everyone how to live pin your location in case there ever is a major earthquake and someone has to coordinate efforts. Find out who your contact is, so all your family are going to the same person, who can, hopefully not in the state, that can help control. And I mean, that's our family plan. I don't know what yours is, but it might be a good idea to review that, just in case. There's never a bad time.
Yeah, that's actually I haven't heard that one, but that's really good. I'm glad you said that. And we actually were talking about that before we went live, that Graeme, you are like an Alaskan, a lifer, right? Like, you've been here your whole
Mhm.
life. What was it
Yep.
like in 1992 when the last eruption happened with Mount Spur?
Volcanic ash is really light and it gets everywhere. It's fine. And, it wasn't necessary. I mean, I was a kid, more or less. Yeah, more. But I just remember it's sticking around for a long time. It's already spring, so there's already a lot of dust in the air with the gravel and the sand and all that getting kicked up. But this will just make it worse. And so, I just extra air filters are the big thing. I remember those running out,
Mhm.
so that's why I'm suggesting, before, not a bad idea to have it anyways.
Yeah.
If you don't need it, you're eventually going to anyway. So
Yeah, one thing I'm doing, I wear my contacts like every day. Like, I haven't had glasses in years. So I'm getting glasses because I heard that for those of us who wear contacts, like, it's going to be go outside because it gets in between. So that actually was really scary for me. And Alexis, something that you said was totally right on. My 7-year-old, whenever we were talking about it, got really scared. And his teacher is already teaching him about volcanoes and stuff. So in his mind, he did think of like Pompeii. So it was
uh,
something that we did have to talk about with him. And then I sometimes, even though I have little kids, I forget how big these things are in their minds, what they hear and what
yeah.
they see. So that was really great advice. And okay, maybe we should have like a contest, like when we think that Mount Spur might blow. I mean,
Ooh.
like, when do you guys think it will happen? Or have you thought about it?
I like the idea of that. That
Mhm.
could be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like the ice classic, except for the volcano.
Yeah.
Right.
Would you put money on it? I'm just
Hey,
saying.
I'm
I
a
would.
teacher. I'm still a teacher.
Heck yeah. I love a good game. Maybe if you get enough people participating and wanting to play that, I could donate some tickets to whoever's closest.
That'd be great.
Something like that could be kind of fun.
Yeah.
I want to throw one
So,
more thing out there. Since we've been so on the topic of community, we often don't do a good job of checking in on people around us. So especially if you have elderly neighbors, even if you don't necessarily know your neighbors, check in with them. You never know what their situation could be. They might need some help dealing with this. And it's a really good time just to build that community back. I think ever since COVID, we've kind of gone into that isolation mode, and we need to be there for each other, not only our students, but our whole community. So especially once this thing blows, if it blows, just make sure those around you are good and taken care of.
Yeah.
Walking this out, I don't know if there is an asthmatic response possibly to things like that, but people who could have difficulty breathing because it is a fine, particle, that might be something to think about. Anyways, so
Yeah.
I think that's a great point, Alexis.
Totally. And I love that. And I love that we talk so much about community, and we continue will. And Crystal, she says, our table won the escape room at the conference. We had a blast. Thanks so much for the amazing prize. So thank you, Crystal, for joining, and thank you for coming to ASTE. Thank you for being a part of, interacting with us today. And, Graeme, thanks for being part of our learning community and our in the Anchorage community. We are so freaking lucky to have you in this community with us. Those are the community and lucky. Like, those are my words. Okay.
That's only 13. That's okay.
Yeah. Well, you should have, in my mind this morning when I was thinking, ooh, what else words can I, no, but it's all good. Everybody, again, thank you so much for joining in, whether it was live or or rewatching afterwards. We appreciate you so much for just being part of this with us, learning together, growing together. Alexis and Graeme, thank you for being here today. We'll see you again next time, probably every 2 weeks. We'll on a Saturday. And hey, if you are watching this and you are in business like Graeme is, and you want to be a part of our community, go ahead and reach out to me at director@aste.org, and let's get you involved too. And you don't have to be education adjacent. Like, if you're a part of our community, period, you're a part of our community. We will find a way for you to kind of, for that to work out and to be beneficial for everyone. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a great St. Patrick's Day.
Bye.